Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Cobalt Reaver, thank you for the resub. See, you get to see us play with cats during the ads. Want to see him disappear? Oh, I thought he might. He's green. Yours is begging for attention too. I've got to watch out for my fingers here. But as you can see, we've got a kiln opening about to happen. We've got Minnie up here too. There you go. Am I actually going to have both supervisors here? Put it up here so it looks like he's swatting at the camera. Hey, Minnie. Yes. Uh-huh. You're a wildcat, too. I don't know if I can get both of them in the shot. There we go. He's like, what are you doing with that thing? He's never attacked the camera, but he has nuzzled it before. What's messing with my green screen? Does it need to be pulled forward? Okay. Made it a little bit better. Oh, is it no fun if nobody's playing with you? I mean, he's like, I'm too dignified for that. She's just gonna sit here and play with her own tail. Where, I'm gonna adjust my camera, and this is my super high-tech way of doing this. So it needs to actually... It's not an issue with the camera angle. I don't think. It's like maybe it needs to come towards me just a tiny bit. Okay, yes it is, okay. But good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the studio. Put the spotlight directly where it deserves to be, on Minnie. I've got a kiln that is cooling down right now, and then I've got some more things. I've started glazing that I'm gonna fill that one back up with, and then I'll keep glazing things just to kind of fill up my big kiln. We've got some. I'm low on a couple of my main glazes, so I kind of had to pick and choose what I actually can glaze right now, what I have the colors to do. Let's see. Is it frozen? It's frozen, okay. There she is. Yes. This is her favorite thing. She likes to come up here and get scratches while she's doing this. This means it's almost nap time. This is what she does before she passes out. Celeste, do I make my own glazes? There are some that I do, yes. So you can see the ones over here, like the green and brown, this green and this green right here, I make myself. And then the brown and the red, specifically, I make myself. Those were some of the green and the brown were some of the first ones I started off making. And actually this black too. This is kind of like it's a very cobalt black. So it does look blue at times. But I order the majority of them are Opulence glazes because we are just north of Nashville, Tennessee, and that's where Opulence is manufactured. So I buy like in bulk the dry glaze from them in bulk, as well as all the like ingredients to make the others. Because while it is considerably cheaper if you make your own, there is quite a bit of a learning curve, and they have done all the testing. They, if I buy from them, all their glazes are food safe. They are don't contain any harmful materials, and they fit the clay body that I'm using. Let me see what this is. All right, I'm back. Celeste, you've made some of your own glazes? Yeah. You're on the learning curve. You're like way low on that curve, so you're sticking with dry, pre-made, and doodling with a few for learning fun's sake. That's what I really need to do. Is like I've been gathering some things to do some tests to do some other make some other glazes, but it's just so convenient to be able to not have to worry about the glazes that I'm using and know that they're going to be the same every time. Because sometimes even batch to batch, like if you get some of the measurements wrong, it can completely change the glaze. In the last couple of years, you've bought out 2 studios that were closing, the equipment, chemicals, and stuff, and the solid whatever. But you kept the bar full of chemicals to start glaze discovery? Yes. Here we go. We're making some biscuits. So I had a gentleman call me, and I'll go back to the glaze thing again. Like in this kiln, I opened it up, and some of the glazes don't look quite right. They're okay, but they're a little bit not as blue as I want the sea spray to be. But and it's because I know the only thing that's different is I'm using the dregs of the bucket. I was very low, so it was very thick. And so the glaze looks different. So even with your own bucket of glaze or whatever, it can change based on how thick it is. Or I was using all the stuff that had settled at the bottom, and it looks different. I had gotten a call from a gentleman before I started streaming who was wanting to buy a gift for his wife, which was very nice, and wanted to get a Baby Yoda yarn bowl. I'm like, here you go. Here's the link. You can do it. And this is the color that it is. We're all good. And so he calls me back. And he's like, well, you know what I'm really wanting is a Baby Yoda shaped yarn bowl. Can you put ears on it? And could the yarn come out of its ear? So now I've got to think about that. I've made a witch before. So if y'all see me trying to put ears on a yarn bowl, that's why. Hey, Spook. So I'm glazing a couple of my little Kentucky Notions dishes. Minnie's been over here napping a lot today. She was over here, and Mir came looking for her because he was bored. Because it was he's funny. He came over and he was just kind of looking around. He's like, "Oh, there's Minnie. Let's go bother her." Okay, I think I'm just going to do all these in Starry Night. So I'm letting this kiln load cool down a little bit before I dig into it. Uh-oh. Oh, that's not a crack, that's just a fold line. I thought I'd found a crack at first. Sometimes, like, I play that game. Is it a crack or is it a cat hair? Sometimes it's hard to tell. Let's see. This is a cauldron mug that is jade on the inside that needs to be black on the outside. I need to hold my hand like that. And here he comes again. Huh? What? He's getting more vocal. I think that's because Minnie is. What? What, you think you're missing something? There's that fluffy butt shot. How about we just have a cat cuddle stream? So I was off this weekend. Daniel was at a show. He was at the Kentucky Sheep and Fiber Festival, which had a pretty good turnout for a small show. And I was working the gallery. We had some really, really bad storms come through here over the weekend. In the northern part of the county, tornado touchdown, and I don't know, I'm sure people have heard, like, it's hit national news, all the damage, and what the 450-mile tornado, like, scar that is on the ground in Kentucky. But it missed us. Thankfully it missed us. Bowling Green got like lemon-sized hail. So we were dealing with that. We had a leak at the gallery on Saturday from all the rain Friday night, and we're supposed to get something else this afternoon. So like 5 or 6 o'clock. If I'm on that late, then I'll need to be wary. So if we suddenly go away, that's why. But luckily, like, we didn't lose power completely. It flickered here, but a lot of places lost power. So it was an interesting weekend. Daniel had to set up in all that mess on Friday. He drove up to Lexington and then, it was Friday. Drove up to Lexington and then waited for some of the rain to stop. So, loaded in real quick and then left. Because, the show even sent out, because it was in Lexington, Kentucky, the show sent out a notice on, Thursday saying, you know what, maybe, we're going to extend setup hours on Saturday. We're going to move the show back an hour because we want, don't set up on Friday. Just, don't. Especially if you're outside. Water Blue, hello. Nice welcome. You met us over the weekend at the shop, yes. Well, good afternoon. Yeah, these are some of my shop kitties I might have been telling you about because I'm the crazy cat lady. And I talk about my cats. That's it. He's done with me. I don't know that I need the black glaze for anything else right now. 'Cause that's what this is. I need to get, the white is underneath here. That's what I need next. And we're about to do a kiln opening to see some of the things that I've been working on. But the fluff ball was Mir, and then this is a Minnie over here, taking a nap. It is definitely time for a new whisk. This thing is falling apart. All the prongs have come off. I've taped them back together here, and it's held together with zip ties. There's one up here, and there's one right here. I need a new whisk. Need to go to some restaurant supply stores. And it works okay if I'm not having to dig through like some thick stuff on the bottom like this is, like I am here. I can feel them moving around, so. Looks like about 2 years is the lifespan of a whisk. You know, it's Blue, I just had a phone call from someone wanting to ask if I could make a custom Baby Yoda. You got the Baby Yoda mug. He asked if I could do a custom Baby Yoda yarn bowl, like sculpted with ears. I gave him a definite maybe. There we go, that's better. And all the prongs have come out. Alright, so I've got some of these pots that already have a layer of color on them. This is gray, and all of these are going to be the unicorn farts, which you can see it up here, but you can't see it well. So it's probably not the best example, but that's what these are going to be. They start off in all gray, and then they get a layer of white, and then they'll get a layer of pink. And that combination makes a really runny, drippy purple, which is a lot of fun. More Baby Yoda in this crazy world can only be a good thing, yep. Baby Yoda is kind of like fighting for attention right now with Stitch and Toothless, with both of those movies coming out within a month. I think Stitch is this Friday, I think. That's one of the few live action ones I think I'm going to go see in the theater. I haven't even seen several of them. And y'all, my husband, Daniel, or the Wonder Hamster, if he sticks his head in here, he informed me, or he admitted, finally, that he has never seen Lilo and Stitch. Never. And as much as I love that movie, somehow we have never sat down and watched it, and he's never watched it, because it came out before we were together. So he needs to be enlightened. I'm not sure if these guys are actually going to make it into the kiln, but I want to get this layer on there. Because this layer needs to dry and then put a layer of pink on there. Like if I try to add the colors too fast, then all the glaze just starts peeling off, and then you got to start over. And here, as exciting as it is to see Minnie sleep, forget that you can't actually see what I'm doing over here. So I've got my bucket of white glaze mixed up, and I'm just dipping the rim. Because this is a very, very runny glaze. I need to see if I can find an example. Actually, I do have an example over here because there was one sitting next to the kiln. All right, this one has a bit more pink, but it's still gorgeous. So it is kind of like a purplish pink over gray. Sometimes it's more purple, sometimes it's more pink. It's just kind of the nature of it, that it's not always going to be the same. Shazam, hey, thank you for the resub. Welcome. Blue. Yeah, you got to see the Wheel of Time mugs in person. I have not watched it yet, but I have heard really good things about it. And I think we talked about it in the shop. Like, I liked the show so far. Like, I do not have a huge issue with a lot of the things they've done. But I've heard a lot of really good things about Season 3. And without going into spoilers for everybody, like, I've heard... Which it's good. I've heard that like they what they've been doing so far, they combine a lot of events together, because where it takes an entire like chapter to describe a scene, you can do that in like 5 seconds by panning across a scene with a camera. So they're like, they're not just sticking with like book 3 material. Blue, thank you so much for the sub. Well, I remember because it's not often that somebody like recognizes the Wheel of Time graphics. So it's more often now. But I will always be a huge fan of the books. I listen to them mostly in audiobook. I think I read at least the first one, I had the book, but then I got into the audiobooks, and they were so good. Well, when it said water blue, that's the first thing I thought of. Right, anything else? See. I need to figure out where my sea spray glaze is. This is the one that was kind of it's a little bit darker than I'm used to it being, but it's because I'm towards the end of my glaze bucket and everything is settled toward the bottom. So I'm going to try to stir it a little bit and not stir everything at the bottom. I'm going to see what happens here. So it's probably got like a ½ inch layer of sediment at the bottom, and it's apparently not what I want. You like the Lovecraft stuff too? Yes. Here it is. So do I want to use a brush or do I want to use... I'm just going to try to dip these real quick and see if that works. Because I don't have to have a ton of room to dip these. So these are my little Kentucky dishes because that's where I am. I'm going to put some of the sea spray around the edge. That's all I want to do. We'll see how that looks. I need the brush to get into all the nooks and crannies. Here we go. Just around the edge. Yeah, so you can tell what we like to watch and what we like to read by the all the mugs that we make. And then these are the ones that I just dipped, the black ones. And this is why I put them on separate tables, because you can see like they look almost exactly alike. So I have to keep things separated so I don't get things confused. Because this color over the gray makes a much lighter blue than over the black. It's more of a cobalt. Let's see, just to make this a little bit easier, I'm going to do that. And I'm just gonna rinse this out. Do a couple of these and see how they turn out. So as you can see with glazing, you don't always have to be super precise. You can just kind of glob it on there. So as long as it's covered, because it's gonna melt. We're gonna do this one too. Make sure I got everything. All right. So I'm gonna go check on the kiln. I'm gonna go see first how warm it is, and then make sure the camera's working, because sometimes it freezes, and then I'm emptying the kiln and describing things and nobody can see what I'm doing. You remember after a long wait for book 6 of the Wheel of Time, and then all it did was introduce new prophecies and not solve any. It was so frustrating. I can see that. I think the last time I did a read through, did I get through book 6, or did I get through book 5 and start book 6? I'm trying to think how to say where I got to without giving too much away. I got to like Rand in a box. That's where I got to. Years later, you finally finished it. See, I enjoy it, but like I came into it at after he had passed away. I think so. So I did. So that, I mean, that's still been like, what, 15 years, over 15 years ago? Because I remember the last, I think, 2 coming out with Brandon Sanderson. And that's how I found Brandon Sanderson. Do Mize Wells, yes. And see, when I see a lot of the names, like, I don't know how anything is spelled because I've been listening to audiobooks, so I know how everything's supposed to be pronounced. So, like, the first season of the show, I was the person going, no, it's Tarvalon. It's Tarvalon. It's not Tarvalon, or whatever, however they say it. That was me, but, you know. Correcting the actors that have been told to do what to do. You just started the Stormlight Archive, so Away with Kings. Yeah, I think that's it. Away with Kings. Let's see how warm this is. I might need my gloves. I think I can pick up that one. This is the Stormy Skies. This is the blue over the gray that I was just doing. I'm gonna see if the camera's working. So I was surprised to actually see a Brandon Sanderson booth at one of the shows we did this year. We were at C2E2 in Chicago, and they called it something, because I forget what his universe is called. But it was a big, massive, like 4-booth setup where they kind of built a structure and had a bunch of merch there. Camera worked. It did. So this is a Star Wars. This is the companion to your Baby Yoda. This is the Way Mug. And this is the smaller size, like you have, the 10 ounce. I'm actually going to probably put this, I need to separate some of these out because they're going for different orders. These guys are, this is, no, I need gloves. I need gloves. Hold on a minute. These haven't gotten as much airflow. It says it's, what does it say it is? It's cycling through 203 degrees. It's not bad. But the pots are always going to be warmer than the actual air temperature because that's what ceramic does, right? It retains heat. So this is a garlic grater. That's like, so all the little texture there that you see, it's really sharp. And so you can grate garlic or ginger or whatever you want, and then you can use that for a recipe, or you can add some like oil and pepper and stuff, and you have a little like a bread dipping dish. But that's unicorn. This is the denim and white. We've got the Stormy Skies again, and then a sweet pea, which is, like I said, really dark, but it's still pretty. It's just not quite as shiny. And see, that's a little bit closer, but still, I'd like it to be a little bit more blue, but it's still good. One of the Kentucky dishes that, just like what I was doing earlier. The Cosmere, that was not the word they used. I'll have to look it up to see what they called the booth, because I didn't recognize it at first because I haven't kept up with a lot of it. But I've read the 4 books for the Stormlight Archives, the first 3, and then I remember when the 4th one came out. I think there's another one now, and I'd read all of the. Oh gosh, now I can't even think of the names of his earlier books, because at the time he didn't have all that many books out when I started, and so I read all of his early works. The Mistborn. I read the Mistborn. Yarnia, hey, thank you for the raid. Welcome everybody. We are unloading a kiln. We are petting cats, and let me put the camera back on the cat. The cat is currently sleeping. And we are talking about books. We're talking about The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan and and a lot of Brandon Sanderson's books. But good afternoon. I'm going to go get some more pieces out of the kiln. Let everybody comes in, and then remove this other kiln shelf so that we can cool down. There's only 3 layers in this kiln, so it's not as big as the other one. This is the small kiln. Hey, Lassa. Good afternoon. But yeah, I've not read a lot of his current stuff. I read Elantris, which I found out later was like the first, I guess, book that was actually published. But he worked on that and Mistborn at the same time. Here we go. So get those out of there. So I've got so a lot of different colors here. This is one of our like newer graphics, a yarn goblin. It was a custom order. And so I've been making more of them, but this was also a custom ordered mug in a specific color. This is the Carlsbad, so the blue or the green and brown. These are, someone was asking earlier, like what colors that I make myself. These are 2 of the colors I make myself, the green and then the brown. When I first started pottery, those were some of the colors that I made. And those were the colors that I was mostly using, but and then as over the years we keep adding different colors. This is a travel mug that says, "Women and cats will do as they please." It is a Mark Twain quote. And we have some more of the unicorn. So this is the pink, purple over gray. And this is the caffeine molecule. Perfect thing for a mug because it works works just as good for coffee, tea, or hot chocolate. And then some Nevertheless She Persisted. And then here's one. We've got a couple different Kentucky themed things in here because some of these mugs are going to a shop in northern Kentucky. This one says, "Morning, y'all." And so does that one. And then we have a geek. I don't think I have a nerd in here. And this is, I've got a couple of these mugs in here that I made for like a neighboring community. They wanted a couple mugs. There's a little bitty community called Spa, established in 1890. And they wanted some mugs. Let's get some of these out of here. All right, I'm actually going to go check on chat. So if Yarnia, if you're here, tell us what you're working on. I'm going back and forth between the kiln and unloading, so we're, you know, it's kind of like Christmas. We don't always know what we're going to get. Sometimes it's a complete surprise. We know what we hope for, but it doesn't always turn out the way you want. Like, there's one there that is again a little bit darker than I really want it to be, but it's still pretty. The sea spray is a little bit more matte, so on that one. But it's still really nice. So sometimes it's nice when people just say, send me an assortment of colors. Like if they had wanted that specific color, I might not send it to them because that doesn't look like the picture. But there's the caffeine. And then here is another Star Wars. We have an Empire mug. And so this is the tree beard, and it's not as blue as it normally is, but it still looks pretty good. We have a bunch of these naughty hooker mugs, and so that is an acronym for a crochet club. Well, I don't know what it stands for. And see this one turned out really good. This is the Stormy Skies again, and this is a garlic keeper to go with the garlic graters, and then it'll have a cork lid on the top, because with garlic you're not supposed to put it in the fridge, and so you can just leave it out, or you can put it in a little container so as not to offend the vampires in your life. Pick that up carefully, make sure there was nothing stuck to it. Oh yeah, there's something still on here. All right, let's see. So this is a butter keeper. We're gonna see, I'm gonna take it over to my wheel, and we're gonna open it up. Because this is something that has a base and a lid to it, and in the kiln they fuse together a little bit, because as things are in the kiln they shrink a little bit, so there's some pressure in there that we need to kind of pop it open. Yarnia, hey, how are you? And Crafty Crafta, welcome everybody. I'm going back and forth, so I have to come back here and check chat because we're unloading a kiln. But take a quick little break here, let it cool down a little bit more. It's still a bit toasty. You've been working on your latest cardigan and realized that the other cake you might take you as far as the body, but then you'll have nothing left for the sleeves. So you got to put a pause on it, or have different colored sleeves. You cleaned up the back of your second bag, and you've done the edge, and tomorrow the straps, and it's done. And you're planning for the third. You're like me, you've got like 15 things going on at all times, right? We've been good. We've had some really bad storms here in our area, and we're supposed to get another one tonight. So it's just like one thing right after the other. Like every time it rains, it's a tornado warning. That just seems like what May is now. But but we're pretty good. We getting some of this stuff out of here. Today is this is one of our Daniel and mine's anniversary. Tomorrow is our 20th wedding anniversary. So I may not be here tomorrow. Today was like, we always consider this our real anniversary, is the day that we started dating. So 22 years ago. So we've had shows back to back, and we've been making stuff and then going like crazy, and we're going to try to take a day off tomorrow. We don't have anything special planned because this is always a busy time of year for us. Thank you, Spook. Thank you. Let's get some of these out of here before I knock them over. But the Jaden iron looks good. That's the color that's in there. Let's see what the sweet pea looks like on a mug. My fingers are too fuzzy, and then I can't touch that. There we go. There's another butter keeper. So that one actually looks nice and blue, and so does this one. It's kind of darker on top, but it's still got that nice blue to it, so that's good. Crazy Cat Lady, another naughty hooker, and then we have a bunch of more of these that are the Jaden iron. Bunch of small ones. Hey, doesn't this look familiar? Water Blue has just picked up a Baby Yoda mug this morning. Or no, sorry, this weekend. Let's see. And this one, someone This is a custom order that we'll be shipping out. This is the, if you were just joining us, we were talking about the Wheel of Time book series, and that's what one of the Wheel of Time mugs looks like. It says, "The wheel weaves as the wheel wills." This one, this is a darker green than I normally use for this. It's Hawkins High from Stranger Things, because I'm like out of my brighter green, or my emerald green. We'll be picking some of that up sometime this week too. Let's see. Again, I'm just kind of sorting these into the areas they need to go and knocking things over. We're all good. I promise. Oh, Yarnia, I always forget that you're in a different time zone. Yeah, thank you so much for stopping by. Get some sleep. The blue is always fun. Let me get that other kiln shelf off of there, and then I'll bring the other butter keeper over. You know how we get them open? We hit them with a stick, quite literally. Oh, I even see orange in there. So the Starry Night actually looks pretty good. The blue and black. We have the solid black looks good too. That's the this is from the Marvelous Ms. Maisel Tits Up mug. And then we've got another Star Wars mug. This is the denim and white. I don't have a fancy name for this one. It is a white over blue. And this is our Carrie Fisher mug. And then, so a lot of these are the 10-ounce mugs going for an order. This one is one of the new book mugs. It says, "I like big books and I cannot lie." And these are some more of the Kentucky mugs. This is the first line to the state song. So it's our song is "My Old Kentucky Home." If you've heard that, it says, "The sun shines bright on my old Kentucky home." And then we'll grab our butter keeper. And I'm actually going to get this last kiln shelf out so I can let the rest of this air out. You get these little ones up here. Got a few tankards in there too. Move these out of the way. But put them on this table so I remember what color they are. Okay. I need something to hit it with. Preferably something made of wood. seem to have anything at hand, so I'm going to do the next best thing. I'm going to hit it with like the rubber side of this tool. This one's a little bit cooler. So this is the lid, and it's not stuck with glaze. It's just stuck with a little bit of pressure. So he's like, "What are you doing?" The other thing I can do is try to pry it open. That worked. And it was something that, like, if I use a screwdriver on these, then sometimes I risk chipping the pots. But this worked well, so that got it up. And so we have the lid and the bottom that fit perfectly together. Now, at some point, sometimes I used to like fire these like this next to each other in the kiln, and half of them would warp just enough that they wouldn't fit. So I decided to start doing this, and and even though sometimes the glaze does run, it's less common of an issue than warping. Let's see. There we go. That was easy. That one is still toasty. There we go. And so that's the blue that we were talking about, that nice cobalt type blue we get with those. Very toasty. Wait, gloves. Gloves. So what have I got in here? This one, oh, it's sweet pea. Okay, so this one it's a little bit less blue than the others, but 'cause it's more green, but it doesn't look bad. And then so I did 2 of these. They're both looking pretty good. I could refire one of those and kind of fill in that little thin area. I think I'd rather it be the greener color than it be too thin. We got that one. This one is a tankard that says, "Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You touch my drink, prepare to die." And then the green dragon inn. Of course, it has to be green. And then the tree beard in one of our knitting phrases. This one it's like technically safe for work unless you actually know what the knit stitch means. K2P2 is the instructions for a ribbed stitch. So it technically says ribbed for her pleasure. And then this guy is going to be a lotion or soap pump. So I'm gonna have a collar I'm gonna glue on there and then screw on the pump attachment. But that's the color it was ordered in. That's what they look like before everything gets attached. And then this is one of our new, like, extremely popular mugs, Dolly's Cup of Ambition. Because we are in Nashville. That's where our shop is. I started making that for the shop, and then taking it to other shows, and it's been popular pretty much everywhere we go. So, what do we have here? Oh, those turned out good. So this is our Kentucky Pride Rainbow. And I think I've got a big one in here too. What we got here? That's a Star Trek mug. And that's the denim blue color. Which we've got, this one came out good too. So we've got a 20 ounce. We have a 20 ounce and a 10 ounce. And same thing with the Star Trek mug. We have a 10 ounce and a 20 ounce ordered. Yeah, everything in here is for orders. And if there's 2 of something, then it probably means I made an extra that could go into stock if both of them turned out okay. what was this one? Oh yeah, another Wheel of Time mug. So this one, again, it's a bit more green than the blue. So I may send them a picture of this before it goes out just to make sure they're okay with it. But it says, wheel weaves as the wheel wills. And something like this, like if they would prefer, you know, a lighter blue on it, you know, then this is something that I'll just take with me to a show because it still looks really nice. But that's the kind of thing I have to think about when filling orders is, you know, I've got to make sure that what people get is, you know, close to what they saw in the picture. I'm going to let those cool down a little bit more because I'm not going to load up the kiln right away because we do have some pretty bad storms coming in a few hours, so I'm just going to wait. Where did I put my water? I disturbed her. She's like, don't disturb me unless it's time for treats. Mir came by earlier and he was bored. He was like, hey, somebody come play with me. And and then he just was walking around kind of slowly moping. And then he saw Minnie over in the corner in the cat bed. He's like, I'm going to go bother Minnie. So he came and tried to start playing with her, but she was having none of it because she was passed out. So he just slunked off. But it was like so funny. You could tell what he was thinking. That was still hot. The thing I want to try to fire the kiln tonight. I just won't do it like before the storm. But I want to get some of these Kentucky dishes in there, and then we'll see how many of the actual mugs can go in. Let's see. There's a jade in black, and I could get the pink out. Let me see. Those are still like a little bit not ready to go. It's a problem. Like so many of the colors I have on order have to do with sea spray, which is what the color I have in my bucket here, but I just don't have that much of it left. So I got the other measuring cup over there. Let's put the lid back on this one. And I could just load it up for a bisque firing too. So this is the like the bluish black that I make. So this, because I don't have a lot of this one left, I'm going to pour this over, but it's going to be like one of the ones that came out of the kiln. I can go show it to you. But I'm going to pour the glaze over it and on the handle in a thin layer, and just, and that's it. With this mug has something on both sides, so I've got to be like super, super careful. It is so easy to forget that there's something on the back. I think something needed more of that jade and black. I'm going to see what that is. Because that is a color, while I don't have a ton of it, I can still glaze with it. Actually, let's see. So which ones need to be that color? It is the one we have the most of. Logistics, hello. Good afternoon. Yeah. Bye. Are we on? Yes, there we are. We're doing pretty good. So we've glazed a little bit. We have unloaded a kiln, and I'm glazing a few more things that could go back into it. I'm not in a huge hurry because we're expecting storms tonight. So I'm just I'm not going to start the kiln because starting the kiln during a storm is just asking for the power to go out. If I don't start the kiln, then that ensures that we won't have it too bad. So that's. Now with these, I need, where did it go? I just had it. It's over here. This is going to be on the inside. And then let's do that. Pour that on the outside. And we're good. And then the bottom half will be black, and where it overlaps, it will, well, it'll look like one of the ones we just got out of the kiln. Let me go get it. Assuming that it is at a safe temperature. I know I saw one. What did I do with it? Yeah, so this is, here it is. That's what it's going to look like. That's the color on top, and then what we're going to dip on the bottom. It's going to go up to here, and the two colors combine to make a third. The whisk, it's time for a new whisk. Did you see it? Did you see this poor thing? It is held together by zip ties, and not very well. It's held together up here by zip ties and down here by zip ties, and that's like special like tape. It's really on its last leg, but I don't have anything else to use right now. I need to go shopping for a new whisk. Maybe it's time to upgrade. Maybe I need to get a heavier duty whisk. Do they even make those? Surely they do. Oh no, your wife's kiln was out of service for a few days until you could fix it. One of the prongs on the outlet got a loose wire over time and the power drew melted. Yes, I've had that happen before. Now it's repaired, and last night you added a digital power consumption meter to it to track it. Oh, that'd be interesting. I always kind of have had an estimate of like how much I used, how much power I used based on like my bill, my electric bill, but so did you like replace the prong, or did you decide to hardwire it? You may have just said, I don't know. Like I've had that happen twice to my kiln, and so I, at this point, if it happens again, I'm just gonna ask them to hardwire it into the breaker box. Because I only, like this kiln right here is the small one. It's the only one of my kilns that actually has a plug. Luke, yes, so this is actually the second generation whisk. Colleen bought me the first one, and so I'm thinking their lifespan is about 2 years in the studio here. Yeah, Colleen sent me that whisk as a prank, or maybe I thought it was a prank. She probably thought it was like a legitimately good idea, but because my electric mixer I had been using had gone out, and so we were waiting for something new, and she sent me that, and I used it. I'm like, this works great. So I started using it, and then just never got a new mixer. But Colleen used to be in the restaurant industry, so she knew about such things. Yeah, my mother was helping out at an estate auction. It was like a restaurant auction this past weekend, and I asked her, like, do they have any big whisks? she plans to pay for the electricity out of her business account and rent out the kiln at fair variable rates. Yeah, so I only recently realized there was an app for people to do stuff like that called, is it Kiln Finder? And I thought that's an interesting idea. I've not actually looked it up to like see what people charge, but every once in a while I have someone ask me if they can rent out kiln space, so it might be good to see what like the going rate for it is. And I'd be curious to see how much electricity like your kiln uses, since you've got the meter on it. See if I'm way off in my estimations. There's Minnie. This is her way of reminding me that she is here still. She's like, isn't it close to treat time, you know? Remember, you've got cats that are starving. It is a 4-foot whisk? Or 3 foot? Maybe 3 foot whisk. 36 inches. Ooh, I could get there are 4-foot ones, aren't there? I know I've seen them, you know, a little bit like a smaller, like a 2-foot version, but you can't really get behind that one very much. I think what really like destroys them is that I dig with them, and so like the tip just gets worn away, and I twist and do a lot of stuff that you probably shouldn't do with a whisk. Make room for Minnie. There was no plug-and-play solution for a 50 amps with a 650 receptacle. You had to order the digital meter kit that didn't come with everything, then buy the rest to put it together. Wow. Okay, so that's not something that you can just like pick up or order ready-made. So Web Restaurant Store, I've been there before. You saw one, that's the first one you saw when you Googled. 48-inch whisk. Yeah, I think I got this one off of Amazon. So I'm gonna see if I could find like a higher quality one. But it's good to know that they do have them. Is this it? Is that 13 of them? That's what I needed. No. All right. I think I have to leave these over here because I don't think there's room left on that table. Yes, Minnie. There's Minnie. Ooh. I'm glad I'm not that lizard. They make different kinds of the meters. I'll have to look into that and see if it's something that can work for any of mine. Just because it would be interesting to know. I don't know if it's worth it just out of curiosity. But I need to let those dry out just a little bit, and then I can glaze them a little bit more. So it might be a good stopping point time. Like maybe I can get out of here before it gets bad. Because we are supposed to get a storm between like 5 and 6. I'll have to check and see if it's still coming or if it's like been pushed back any. Where'd my phone go? There it is. But I gotta make sure Minnie has her treats before I go. Because that's why she's back here. Because she knows it's close to treat time. That's a lot of red. Apparently it's raining now. It's just not the bad stuff. Okay. Logistics? Yes. So the Discord is Pauly Studios. So it's going to be like our website. In our info section, but yes, we do have Discord. But I'm gonna see, I need to move some of this stuff around. Here we go. And I've got glaze on these already. But our butter keepers turned out good. They opened up without dripping and without breaking. Where's the lid to this? I always lose the lids to these things. It's like, y'all see it? I don't see it. I'll put it up here. Oh well, it'll turn up. I was just gonna try not to get stuff in it. Yeah, Logistics, thanks for stopping by. Have a good night. Let's see what we got here. I saw that they changed the Makers and Crafting like cover photo. It's got a mug on it. I feel like I need to like make them a mug to take a picture of. Well, look at this. We've got somebody else doing pottery. We've got somebody throwing. Let's go see them. Let me... Merrimack Mud Co. Doing some throwing. We're going to start the raid. So let's go show some support to another potter on Twitch. But thank you guys for watching. Well, you've seen the final part of the process, the glazing and the kiln opening. Now you're going to see the start of the process. And then I may not be here tomorrow. I probably won't be here tomorrow. It's our wedding anniversary. we don't have big plans yet, but we're just gonna like hang out for the day. And then I'll be back. I may be doing more glazing or maybe throwing again. I haven't decided yet. But I will see y'all later. Have a good evening, and I will talk to you later. Here we go.